What's up, Ranger Nation? It's been a minute since I saw you guys, so I haven't done an episode review of Don Brothers episode 5 and 6, right? So, what I might do this week, you guys, is I might compile our episode review of those two as well as the new episode of Don Brothers episode 7. But this is going to be the review for Power Rangers Dino Fury episode number 7, New Leaf, Ranger Nation. So before we go ahead and jump into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not subscribed, I'm gonna need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it, Ranger Nation. You guys like the video, subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video. And without further ado, Ranger Nation, let's go on ahead and discuss Dino Fury episode number 7. All right, you guys, so this episode we see Void Queen. So Void Queen, she has released a sports. His name is Squash Blight, right? So Void Knight comes in, he asks her, like, what's going on? So she tells him she wants him to take Squash Blight into the city and make the humans pay. Now you guys remember, Void Knight, he doesn't want to do this, right? She wants revenge against the humans. He doesn't want revenge against the humans. He just wants to get her and him off of planet Earth ASAP, right? And I said this on, I believe I said this on A Plus More Phenomenal with Adam, right? That when I look at Void Queen, she actually gives me Queen Banshira vibes from Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. And I really do think that that's what's going to happen with her. Because you guys remember, Queen Banshira in Lightspeed Rescue, you remember her whole thing was she wanted revenge because of her palace being, destroyed, right? And it came to the point where her anger and her greed just, it became all about Queen Banshira. It came to the point where she was losing her army. She absorbed Vipra. She had Loki destroyed. She had Diabolico and Olympius fight each other, right? To the point that they were destroyed, right? And then she had she was going to release the demons from the shadow world. And remember what happened with that. Diabolico came in at the last minute and saved Carter from her. So Void Queen definitely gives me the vibe of Queen Banshira. So Void Knight tells her, he doesn't want to do this, right? He's trying to help her. She was like, you collected these sporics. Where did you collect the sporics? Where he says, I collected the sporics so that I could help you. My whole thing was never to harm the people, but she basically told him it's either piss or get off the pot, basically. So Void Knight was like, you know what, gotcha. So then we see Ollie. So Ollie is over at Buzz Blast, and Ollie is on the phone with his mother, and she's telling him about this friend of his, Professor Floyd, that she talked to, right? And he's like, oh, he's in Japan. She's like, no, he's there. So he's going to be meeting with Professor Floyd, right? And then the other Rangers here, and they were like, oh, Professor Floyd, I think Amelia is going to be doing an interview with that professor, right? So then Professor Floyd shows up, and he's talking to Ollie, and he's like, you haven't really changed much, right? So then Amelia comes over, and she introduces herself. He notices her bracelet, right? And she talks about what the bracelet does, kind of like a good energy kind of thing. And we all know how Ollie is when it comes to Amelia and her hijinks, right? He thinks the things that she does is stupid or I'm trying to come up with another word. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. He thinks it's stupid or outlandish, I guess you would say, right? And I love the fact that Professor Floyd told Ollie, you think you're a complete know-it-all, right? And nobody likes to know it all. He was like, but I got along with everybody in your class. He was like, why do you think you always have to do your projects with me? Because the rest of the class, they didn't want to deal with you. I was like, well, damn. Tell them how you really feel. And I like the fact that Professor Floyd basically, in no uncertain terms, told Ollie, people don't like your ass. You're rude. You think you know everything, and you don't. So what I'm going to do here, you guys, is I'm going to pause, and we're going to move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, we see Jane and Jaybird. So we see Jane and Jaybird, and they're doing this story on an octopus, I guess that escaped from somewhere. So they're at the pool, and I guess the octopus is supposed to be there. I was really confused by that whole scene. So then they're recording it, and then they have a live stream. So then while they're doing a live stream, they go and get in the hot tub. The octopus messed with them in the hot tub, stole the camera, and got in a taxi cab and pieced out. That whole scene right there was really stupid. It just made absolutely no sense to me. I'm just literally sitting here thinking to myself, an octopus. That was the dumbest story. That was the dumbest shit I ever saw. I'm so sorry, but that shit was dumb as hell to me. I hated that scene. I loathed that scene. I never want, like, if I ever rewatch Episode 7 again, we're gonna skip right past that scene because it just didn't make any sense to me. And this is, I'm not taking a, I know you diehard Dino for your fans. Please save your comments because I don't give a fuck. I gotta say it like that. I don't give a fuck what you say, think, or feel. These are my personal opinions. I didn't like it. And this is no attack against, Simon Bennett or the writers, right? Back in Alwyn. Even if I was a kid, I still wouldn't have understood that scene. But hey, it is what it is. So then we see Squash Blight and Void Knight. They arrive, right? So Squash Blight has this like poison or toxin or whatever that he put into the water, right? And the people that were in the water, they were affected by it. And when they were affected by it, it started turning them into trees. And I was like, oh, interesting, right? We've saw that happen before. I think that happened in Lightspeed Rescue where people were turned into trees. Actually, it's happened more than once. So, the Rangers show up, right? So, Void Knight and Squash Blight, they eventually left, right? So now the Rangers have to figure out what to do. They have to, one, create an antidote to return everyone to normal. And then they also need to get everyone out of the pools, right? So, Ollie, he's going to go back to Dino Hinge and work with Solon. And the others, they're going to try to get everyone out, right? And what's going to happen is Javi is going to call his dad to have him get the people out of the water. But isn't he a forest ranger? Okay. Let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. All right, you guys. So we see Ollie. So Ollie and Solon, they are in the base and they're working, right? So Ollie asks Solon, do they have any of those little, slides, right, that you put up under a microscope? She says, oh, we do have some. They're at the park. Humor. So she says, yeah, we have some in storage. So she goes to get them in storage. So Amelia, she teleports back to the command center, right? And, they're talking. He was very rude to her because she noticed that, so Ollie got some of the pool water. And she was like, hey, Ollie, the water, it's kind of boiling over. She says, do you want me to turn it down? He was being a complete asshole to her. And they didn't turn it down. So when Solon came back out, boom, it erupted and it got all over Solon and it turned her into a tree, right? Now here's the interesting thing, right? Solon is a cyborg, and Jaybird is not a human as well, right? So how did Jaybird, and I know Jaybird explained how she didn't get turned into it, right? But I would have thought Solon would have been turned into a tree as well because she's not human. But hey, whatever, right? So with Solon now turned into a tree, Ollie realizes he does need help, and that help comes in the form of Amelia, right? So where are we at? So when Amelia did teleport back to the command center, she did tell Ollie, like, hey, so Warden Garcia, he's had everyone get out the pool, so the pools are shut down, right? So then we move back over to, the monsters, right? So Squash Blight comes back to, he tells Void Queen, like, hey, they've shut down all the pools. So at this point, we're SOL, right? She was like, why are y'all poisoning the pools, basically, right? That's a dumb idea. Once again, she gives Queen Banshira vibes, right? Because Queen Banshira, she she talked down to the other, her underlings, her demons, right? She didn't have respect for them at all. And Void Queen doesn't really have any respect for the Sporix. If you guys, I mean, you can see that clear as day. She has no respect for them, right? So Void Queen tells them, hey, what you guys need to do is you guys need to try to poison the water supply. Don't just poison the damn pools. Hit the water supply. Make sure everyone is affected by it, right? Like, make sure that the pipelines, right? Make sure you touch that, right? So Void Knight doesn't want to do this, right? Because Void Knight says, he feels like he's proven to himself to her, right? He says, we can have the ship ready. We can we can get on the ship and we can dip out of here, right? Wrong. Void Queen takes her finger and boom, destroys that, and boom, she blasts him away. Yeah, this is definitely, she is Queen Banshira 2.0, right? Because, and I'm wondering, I know now, granted, before she became Void Queen, Santora already had the vendetta where she wanted to go after the humans, right? But I'm wondering if with her now having the power of the Sporix, have they corrupted her even more, right? Kind of like what happened in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Remember when Trakina had already had her vendetta against the Rangers and Terra Avenger, right? But you guys remember in Journey's End Part 1, when Deviant returned and Trakina and Deviant went into the cocoon, remember, Deviant was destroyed in the process of that, but Trakina absorbed his, she got his blaster, her voice, the inflection of her voice changed, her tentacles got longer, and she adapted Deviant's personality, which was a detriment to her, right? Because she destroyed her entire army. She destroyed the Stingwingers. She destroyed Villamax, right? So I'm wondering if, kind of like what happened with Trakina, is happening with Void Queen, right? The Sporix, they're evil already, and I'm wondering if she's absorbing some of their ways, right? We shall see. So then we see Ollie and Amelia, right? So they are in, the Dino Hinge, and they've eventually come up with the antidote, right? So then Izzy calls them, telling them about, spotting Wreckmate as well as Squash Blight. So the Rangers go to battle with Wreckmate, Squash Blight, and the Henchman. So Void Knight eventually appears, right? And Void Knight tells the Rangers, they were like, take him out. He was like, no. I'm here to help you, right? Void Queen sent Squash Blight. They were like, who is Void Queen, right? So he tells them the way to take out Squash Blight, which is getting him into a dark area and they can take him out. So they were like, well, you know what? We'll listen to you for now. So the Rangers, they do eventually destroy Squash Blight, right? With their Zords. So then, back at Buzz Blast, Zeta was talking to the Rangers. He's like, they're trying to figure out, first of all, who is Void Queen, right? And why did Void Knight help them? Because Void Knight at one point told, Santora, he's going to have to take her out, right? So Void Knight, like I said earlier, it seems like Void Knight gives me Diabolico, and Santora, Void Queen, gives Queen Banshir. So I feel like in the final episode, it'll probably come down to Tarek and Zato battling with Void Queen. You guys can let me know what you guys think about that. But that's going to be it, you guys. Ollie, he apologized to Amelia about being a dick to her. And that's the end of the episode. So let me know what you guys thought about it. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video. And until the next time, Ranger Nation, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. So like I said, I will talk about episode 5 and 6. And then we'll be back for episode 7 of Dom Brothers, you guys. So until then,